posters for Marvel movies. So the point of the awards and the point of the BIFAs is to celebrate independent British film, but more importantly, not celebrate, make you watch them because they're brilliant. That's, independent stories are ones that are free of corporate interference. And there's an old saying, which is a camel is a horse made by a committee. These are not horses made by a committee, they're horses.
Wait,
If that
what?
makes any sense.
Who?
Yeah, well, it means when too many people get their oar in, you don't get an artist's vision, you don't get touched. It becomes corporate and bland and lowest common denominator. And you're right, I've been involved with the BIFAs a really long time because they're the films that I want to watch, the stories I want to tell, and they were kind enough to invite me. And every year there's a whole crop of incredible stories told that deserve eyeballs. Some of them get eyeballs, some of them don't. But the point of having awards is just to pick out 4 or 5 in every category to remind you or tell you that they exist. And this year, amazingly, during the pandemic, more people have been watching films like this than ever before because the giant movies aren't coming out. And it's so great to see how well they do. But what I'm amazed by every year is how many people just, sell a kidney, remortgage their house, and somehow gather the money to tell these fantastic stories, the depth of storytelling talent in Britain. But what I'm wondering about you presenting the awards is how many of the films have you seen?
Wow. 2.
Which ones have you seen?
I'm working my way through a handful at the moment, but I've been very kind. Well, I didn't realize one of the pluses of hosting is they give you the links to these films for nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons. One of the side benefits of being involved in the selection panel and stuff is I've got to watch hundreds of independent films this year, and it's just such a joy.
And I'm not being funny, but your face and name came jumping into my head as soon as they asked me to do the BIFAs. First of all, I assume they lost your phone number.
Yeah.
And second of all, I know that you have been part of the industry, and I know. Well, I suppose my question to you is, what makes British independent cinema different? Because you've worked around the globe, and I'm sure you've been to many independent film festivals all over the shop. What makes the British one?
All right. So first of all, this is going to be father and son locking horns because I've got many questions for you, and people want to know more about you. But I'll answer that one. The thing about British films is that they're in English. And so if you want to watch a film in English, you've got a choice of the great films that we make in Britain and also all those American films. And American films have giant budgets, they have splashy marketing things. And so you can get our stories about ourselves can get lost because you think, well, I'll go to the cinema and look at that. For my 10 quid or whatever, I can see a film that costs 300 million to make. And of course, there aren't adverts and the big stars aren't necessarily on the talk shows of these films. They just don't come to your attention as much. And what makes them worth watching is their stories about us, told by us. That doesn't mean they're kitchen sink dramas. Some of this year's nominees are amazingly imaginative, and they're not all set in Britain either. And often made by, what is it to be British? This tapestry of people who've come to live here, who are here temporarily, or fled other places. So there's a wide range of stories. But if you're French and you want French stories, there's a quota in French cinemas. You will go and see films in your own language. And there'll be, and the cinemas that have to show them, and there's a long gap between when they come on streaming, mandated by law and stuff. But if you speak English as your first language, you might the British films might get lost in the mix. So what makes British independent film so brilliant? I don't know why we have this extraordinary, maybe because we have an extraordinary history. It's like when a country produces a brilliant sprinter or tennis player, it encourages other people to do it. We've got such a long history of fantastic filmmakers. It's the proof is in the pudding, proof is in the watching. So this year, I'm going to say, so which are the two? So the top 5 nominees for British film, at least, are, where's it gone? I've got them here.
I love the glasses, Dad. I mean, seriously, what is that?
I just said before, I went out and bought, because these are reading glasses. I've got a pair in every room. And unconsciously, I'm modeling myself on you.
As soon as I saw it, I had my white headphones in as well. I thought,
I've got others, but fucking hell.
Apple didn't fall too far from there.
All right, so the top 5 films, this British independent films this year, are Calm with Horses. Have you seen that?
Not yet.
It's fantastic.
I have heard nothing but good things about that. It's definitely.
I have a connection with it. So the producer, one of the producers, Daniel Emerson, I knew when he was a tiny kid. I watched him grow up and thought that maybe I could offer him some help or mentor. He doesn't need anything from me. He's a partner with Michael Fassbender, and they made this film. It's utterly brilliant from a short story.
One with Cosmo Jar. No,
Yeah, Cosmo, who was mind-blowing, and I didn't know that he wasn't Irish. Um, uh, the father, the next one. You've seen the father with Tony Hopkins.
no, that's Hopkins, isn't it?
I say Tony like he's my mate.
Yeah,
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
yeah. Sorry, not on
But it's
first name.
incredibly moving and fabulous. His house. You've seen his house.
Yes. Oh my days, that had me on the edge of various seats. That was
It's
brilliant.
I
Fantastic.
mean, I don't. It's kind of genre defying. If you describe it as horror, you're completely missing the point of its
Yeah,
power as an allegory about recent immigrants to Britain,
I think
and it's just got magic in it. And
it's a story that hasn't been told, really, and some of the
first
things.
time director.
It's fantastic. It keeps you
Uh,
going the whole way, and then towards the end, it's like, whoa, there's the twist.
It's incredible. Have you seen Rocks?
No.
Watch it. It's on Netflix. Just watch it. I don't. The problem with
Oh,
publicizing films and doing
yes,
interviews about films is you
yes,
tell
yes,
people the story. That you
yes.
shouldn't know anything about it, but
Yeah,
oh, you have seen it.
no, not yet, not yet. I know of it. It's right on the top of the. This is one about the young girls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Young girl
looks like
left alone.
fun.
Yeah. And the boy in it is the cutest kid I've ever seen. But the performance, it feels like, I mean, a really good film feels like it's happening. You just happen to be looking through the keyhole or there with the camera. But
Mm.
I've never watched a film that feels more like it's completely improvised. And it did come from a bunch of workshops, but it's a very structured story. It's magnificent. And last of all, have you seen St. Maud? That's the other nominee for Best British Independent Film.
No, that's one I started the other night, and to be honest with you, it had a creepy feel to it straight away, and it was fun.
It wasn't what it wasn't an ideal date film. Is that what you're saying? Oh,
But I
that's good.
didn't,
Anyway,
I
St.
didn't know
Maud.
everything failed very
Is
quickly.
oh, okay.
But no, I was very
St. Maud is
excited.
a first-time writer-director, right? Which is
I,
again, and there might be others. It's mind-boggling. It must be incredibly fucking irritating for people who've directed 20 films and someone could just come out the gate and make something as, I mean, exquisite and disturbing as St. Maud.